Fatiha. Selamun Aleyküm. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين مدد يا رسول مدد يا سادات أصحاب رسول مدد يا شيخ دستور مولانا شيخ الله فاز حسن شيخ محمد طريقاتنا الصحبة والخير خير في الجمعية. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل إن كنتم تحبون الله فاتبعوني يحببكم الله. صدق الله العظيم. Allah Azze ve Celle Kur'an-ı Azimüşşan'da buyuruyor. Peygamber Efendimiz için beni seviyorsanız bana tabi olunuz ki Allah Azze ve Celle sizi sevsin.
Allah Almighty says in the Holy Quran, and He makes our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, say, if you love Allah, then follow me, so that Allah Almighty may love you.
Bizim bu hayatta Müslümanın istediği şey Allah'ın Azze ve Celle'nin rızası, bizi sevmesidir.
And this is our main target in our lives as Muslims, is to obtain Allah Almighty's satisfaction with us and to make Allah Almighty be pleased with us and love us.
O da Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem onun yolunu gösteriyor.
And our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, shows us the way of how to become those whom Allah Almighty loves.
Ona tabi olun, ona muhabbet edin.
It is by following the way, by following the Prophet, peace be upon him, and by loving and showing respect to the Prophet to obtain Allah Almighty's love.
Ona istediğini yolda gidin.
Follow the way as the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, shows to obtain Allah Almighty's love.
Onu sevin diyor. Allah Azze ve Celle onu severseniz yani bütün mesele Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellemin sevgisi, ona tazim etmesi, onu
Allah Almighty says, love the Prophet. That is the main point, to love the Prophet. It is Allah Almighty's command to love the Prophet, to honor the Prophet.
İtibar etmesi, ona hürmet göstermemiz.
It is the command of Allah Almighty to show our highest respect and to show our honor to our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
En büyük şeydir, bizim için vazifedir, farzdır.
The greatest duty, the greatest obligation, the first and foremost obligation we need to fulfill is to honor the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. That is the first fard.
Onu zaten onu yapmayan akıldan noksandır.
Those who do not honor the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, they lack of mind.
Akılları tamam değildir.
Their mind is not complete.
Şimdi yeni şeyler eskiden de vardı da şimdi daha değişik şeyler çıkarıyorlar.
And there were things that also existed in the past, but now these types of things have emerged more and more.
O da bizim gibi insanlar diye.
And there are more and more people popping up saying, he's just a person like you and me.
Onun vakti geçti. Biz artık o
they say his time is over.
Kur'an Azimüşşan'ı getirdi.
He just delivered the Quran.
Biz ona bakıp da amel ederiz.
All we need is the Quran. We just follow the Quran, they say.
Şimdi o Peygamber Efendimiz'e gerek yok.
And thus they say, you don't need the Prophet. We don't need the Prophet, they say. Peace and blessings be upon him.
Bu nereden çıkıyor?
And where does this come from? This kind of thinking, mindset?
Şeytandan çıkıyor.
This mindset comes from Shaitan.
Şeytan insanları yoldan çıkarıp
It is Shaitan who makes people go astray.
Cehenneme götüreyim diye.
It is Shaitan who drags people into hellfire.
Allah Azze ve Celle'ye karşı bu sözü söylemiş.
And in order to do so, he says these kinds of things, and he made that promise to lead people astray to Allah Almighty.
Onu işte bu her türlü vesileyle Müslüman olmayana zaten onu götürmüş. Müslümanı da yoldan çıkarıp cehenneme götürsün diye.
And in order to fulfill his oath, Shaitan does everything he can in order to lead people astray. Those who are not Muslims, there he already succeeded, and when it comes to Muslims, he tries to get them off track.
Çeşitli şeyler yapmış.
And in order to achieve his ends, he has come up with all kinds of different things.
İşte bu en son yeni çıkan bir tipler var. Kur'an'a bakıp da biz yaparız, işimizi yaparız.
And there's now this new kind of group of people who say all we need is the Holy Quran. We look at the Quran and then we act accordingly. We don't need anything else.
Ona göre amel ederiz. Başka hadis, şuydu buydu istemeyiz diyorlar.
And they say all we want and all we accept is the Holy Quran only. We don't look at the hadith or we don't look at anything else.
Hadis olmaz. Onu söyleyen akıldan noksan. Yani
Those who say such things are mindless people.
Hadis de Kur'an'da Peygamberimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem'in mübarek ağzından söylenmiş.
Both the Holy Quran and the hadith have come from the sacred mouth of our beloved Prophet, peace be upon him.
İnsanlar ona tabi olmuş.
The words in the Holy Quran and the sayings and the hadith, they have both been uttered from the blessed mouth of our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
Onu birisini kabul etmesen ötekisini nasıl kabul ediyorsun?
How can you deny one and accept the other?
Aklın varsa bu iş hiç akıl işi değil.
If you have logic, if you have common sense, this does not make sense to accept the one and reject the other.
Deli olması lazım insanın ki
only a crazy person can make such a claim.
Bu lafı söylesin. Çok var insanlar böyle.
There are now people like this.
Şüpheye düşürüyorlar.
And they make others fall into doubts.
Bunlara dinleyenler bedbahtır.
And those people who listen to people making such claims are unfortunate people.
Ya şansları yoktur.
They are unlucky people who listen to them.
Onların Allah Azze ve Celle onlara gadab etmiş.
They are the ones who have drawn Allah Almighty's wrath on them.
Dışlamış insanlardır.
They are the ones who have drawn Allah Almighty's anger upon them and have made them be excluded from Allah Almighty.
Yani onlar kendilerini akıllı zannedip de başkalarına da söylerse,
they think of themselves to be very clever one, and they try to also make others follow them.
Söylüyor, onlar da aynı şekilde yoldan çıkmış olur. Akıbetleri hayır olmaz.
And those who listen to them and follow them must know that they too will not have a good ending.
Çünkü dediğimiz gibi en mühim şey Peygamber Efendimiz sallallahu aleyhi ve sellemin tazimi.
Because that is the most important thing to honor the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him.
Ona inanmak, onun
to believe in him.
Mübarek sözlerini dinlemek.
To listen to his words.
Onun yolunda gitmektir.
To follow his way.
Ötekileri yok.
There's no other way.
Ben bunu kabul ederim, yarısını kabul ederim, yarısını kabul etmem diye de bir şey yok.
There's no such thing as saying I accept the one half and reject the other half.
Öyle olmaz.
It cannot be that way.
Allah muhafaza etsin.
May Allah Almighty protect us
fitnelerden.
From corruption.
Ahir zaman fitneleri. Bu da işte
these are corruptions of the end of times.
Osmanlı'dan sonra bu kafir bunu Müslümanlığı bitirsin diye yaptığı şeylerdir.
And this is one type of corruption that has been spread by the disbelievers after the Ottomans in order to divide the Muslims and make them go astray.
Bunlar yapanlar haindir.
And those who do these things are traitors.
Münafıktır.
They're hypocrites.
Allah muhafaza etsin.
May Allah Almighty protect us
Şerlerinden hepimiz inşallah.
from their evil. May Allah Almighty protect us all.
Ve minallah tevfik. El Fatiha.